right, so the Canadian government has decided to go after companies that are using the Driver Inc. model. They have pledged $77 million this coming year in their budget, and then $19 million every successive year moving forward. They're going to target the companies that are in problem areas, the GTA specifically mentioned, companies that are using this Driver Inc. model. And so for those who don't know, what is this Driver Inc. model? Why is it a problem? And who's using it the most, right? So the Driver Inc. model is a business model that trucking companies use to avoid paying taxes. That's the long and the short of it. They take drivers who should be classified as employees, and they classify them as independent contractors instead. By doing this, this enables them to not pay out income tax. So they don't have to pay for vacation pay, they don't have to pay any disability or CPP, just things, all the deductions that an employer has to take off of an employee. They don't have to take those deductions off of that contractor, right? In turn, it's the contractor's duty to take all of these taxes off of themselves as their own employer. So why do they do this? What does it benefit them? The company that doesn't have to pay all these taxes out to their driver, on behalf of their driver, this enables them to charge less to the shipper to move the shipper's freight, which means companies who are classifying their employees properly are at a disadvantage because they have to charge the shipper more to get their freight moved. The problem that the driver who is classified as an independent contractor has is that most of them aren't business people. They don't even know that they have to pay their taxes. Some don't care, but a lot don't even know they have to pay their taxes. So they get a lump sum of money every week. So let's say the employer says, I'm going to pay you $30 an hour. Well, they make 10 hours a day, that's $300 a day, times $4,500 a week. They just take home the $4,500 a week. They don't give any thought to the illegality of not paying taxes, not paying Canadian pension plan, for example. They don't consider what will happen if they become disabled on the job and they have no disability payments coming in because they're not paying into the system. They don't consider old age pension, that when they're old, they're not getting anything from the government because they haven't paid anything to the government. So the driver who is doing this, it's a short-term gain, a long-term loss, or even a short-term loss. They're shooting themselves in the foot. And when the government says they're going to go after them, what this means is the driver and the company both are going to get audited. The company may have to pay back taxes, and the driver who has been not paying their taxes is also going to end up getting stuck having to pay back taxes. And I would imagine this could end up bankrupting somebody. And on top of that, all the tax write-offs that the driver was enjoying, they're not going to get those anymore, and they might have to pay those back. I don't know what this will do for their license, if that'll play into it, but the company, when they have to start paying their taxes, this will make them less competitive to the shipper, because now they're going to have to raise their rates to the shipper that has been enjoying their cheap freight, and the shipper, probably being upset that the company is going to raise their rates, is going to go on to someone else because they're not going to be as competitive anymore. So that's some of the fallout that's going to happen. Just a damaged reputation for the company, damaged reputation for the driver, probably bankruptcy in some cases. I would advise, if you're doing this, you might want to get off. The government is coming after you. So who is falling prey to this? East Indians. People who come over on the LMIA. They're already exploited by the LMIA process itself. The employers who use the LMIA process to get temporary foreign workers, it only costs them about $1,000 to get the LMIA document, and they usually get several at a time. And then they turn around and they charge $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a pop for the temporary foreign worker coming over from India or Pakistan. They got to pay for that. And I'm pretty sure that when they pay for it, it's laundered through a consultant, right? So it doesn't look like, there's a guy in Alberta got charged with selling these LMI documents. The employer, after exploiting the employee, then exploits them further by not paying them the wages and giving them the appropriate job protections that they are entitled to by being classified as an employee. So under the LMIA, they virtually enslave the driver because the LMIA is attached to one company. So when that person gets charged for the teeth to come over to Canada and they get on with that company, they're then told by the employer, you will do exactly what we say, or you are going back to India, you are going back to Pakistan. So the government is moving right now to crack down on all of that. And they're also, in a related story, Ontario is doing away with driver's license reciprocity. Now, we don't have any reciprocity with India, but what our government is doing is, whereas before all you needed was a letter of authentication to prove to our government that you had been driving for a certain amount of time back in your home country, if we didn't have a reciprocity agreement with you, now they're doing away with that as well. They're working toward making it so you have to at least have 1 year driving experience in Ontario. I would like to see this Canada-wide, and I'd like to see more than 1 year driving experience in some cases, but that's what they're doing. So that way you can't just come from a country whose very culture is aggressive driving and then jump into a semi-truck and get on our roads. So they're trying, the government, it seems like on different levels, is trying to make our roads safer. And they're trying to protect our own trucking industry and make it more competitive. The Americans, you read a lot about what they're doing. As far as what they're doing, they're enforcing ELP. That's kind of a related but different story. You put all of this together, there's going to be there's possibly a lot less truckers on the road when this is all said and done. So anyway, that is what's going on. If you like the content and you like these updates, if I helped you out in any way in clarifying what this all means, give me a like and subscribe, and do me a favor and comment down below. What are your thoughts? Are you for or against? Anyways, cheers, keep your rubber side down.